tawayo, you know, to be able to conduct. Munthu akupita kwakuti ukapanga zakuti ndiye iwe umulepheretse chifukwa choti no you see whether bwa malayi muno ukhalapo. Okay, so these are the pressures I'm talking about. Yeah, you will not notice, but mapressure achokera kuti kutali tu kumaofesi akuluakulu. Eh? They have gone through my protocols also. They are with now the Pirating Command. Iweyo ndio unene kuti kulibeko simupita. Yeah? I, Juvenile Simtende, PhD,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
by the Almighty God
by the Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give
that the evidence I shall give
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
nothing but the truth.
So help me.
So help me God.
Brigadier General Mtende, we are live on Parliament TV and various media houses. And as you make your presentation, know that the audience is not just restricted to this room. Your audience is the entire nation and the public at large. You are free to respond to the summons that were served to you. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair and the committee. I am happy to be here. I hope I will shed some few insights into hopefully what happened. I have my presentation. I will read it out to you, Chair, and the committee. Okay. And hopefully later at the end of my presentation, I'll be able to answer questions. I want to inform you, Chair, and the committee that I am not only the former Donia Pirating Command. I was one of the first in the unit. Just take note of that. So here is my Chikangawa plane crash inquiry report on 26 August 2026 by Brigadier General Mtende, PhD, retired, instructor pilot. I'm a retired Brigadier General Juvenile Simtende, PhD. I'm a pilot with commercial pilot license, FAA, standing for Federal Aviation Administration, which is the equivalent of DSA, the Department of Civil Aviation here, but this one is of the United States. I have attached to my commercial pilot license various ratings, which I have mentioned here. One is IFR, standing for Instrument Flight Rules rating. I have ground and flight instructor instrument rating in a twin-engine aircraft with a total of 4,000 hours. My training was done at Lufthansa Pilot Training School in Bremen, Germany, where I did my ground school in 1975. I'm a holder of a German pilot license number 166 HB. I went for Lufthansa Pilot Training School in Goodyear, Arizona, USA. Where I flew aircrafts and did ground school in 1976. I've done command and staff course at South African Air Force, Staff College, Pretoria, South Africa. When Malawi bought or were given Dakota aircrafts, I did Dakota aircraft type conversion at Fort 4 Squadron, Pretoria, South Africa. I was attached to a squadron. My FAA commercial pilot, for your interest, is number 002356763. I got my commission on 12th January 1977 as a lieutenant or lieutenant in the Malawi Army. I did staff training at Fuxing Kang College, Taipei, Taiwan, 20 August 1994. Flight instructor number, this is FA. You find it's the same number that appears earlier, or that I've mentioned earlier. 2356763 CFI. The CFI standing for Certified Flight Instructor. I've done United States Air Force Special Operations course at a school, Herbert Field, in Florida, in the year 2000. I have conducted flights for President of Malawi, was Dr. Hastings Kamuzu Banda, may his soul rest in peace, from Chileka to Harare, Zimbabwe, on a Donia 128 Sky Sevens. Registration Mike Alpha Whiskey 03. During the Shogun meeting, where the late Queen Elizabeth II graced the occasion. You may wish to mark the aircraft registration differences. I hope you'll be able to detect. The other one is Mike Alpha Whiskey 03, and the one in question today is Mike Alpha Whiskey Tango 03. Tango standing for turboprop. I have conducted the flight for the President of Malawi was Dr. Kamuzu Banda, may his soul rest in peace, from Chileka to Likoma Island and return on Donia 228, registration Mike Alpha Whiskey Tango 03, the same aircraft that we're talking about. I have flown on the advance party to the President of Malawi, entourage of Dr. Bakiri Muluzi, from Chileka to Lusaka to Rwanda, Angola, and return. I have flown the President of Malawi, was Dr. Bingu Wamtalika, may his soul rest in peace, from Lilongwe Air Base to Msanje to Zomba Air Base. I have flown President of Malawi, my Joyce Banda. I have flown King Mswati when he visited Malawi on a Donia 228, registration Mike Alpha Whiskey Tango 03, the same aircraft that we're talking about today. I have flown to Germany, aircrafts from Zomba, Malawi, Donia 128 Sky 7s, and have in return brought Donia 228 turboprop aircrafts to Zomba, Malawi. I was involved in the sale of presidential jet aircraft, registration Mike Alpha Whiskey Juliet 1, from Malawi to Chester, United Kingdom. I have flown various Malawi government ministers, diplomats, residents in Malawi, and top government officials who attended the funeral of late Speaker of Parliament of Malawi, Right Honorable Rodwell Mnyenyembe. The flight was from Kamuzu International to Chelinda and returned to Kia in the night. I was not involved in the planning nor execution of the flight of the Vice President of Malawi on the 10th of June 2024. Reason, I was already in retirement. I have flown with Colonel Sambalopa, may his soul rest in peace, in training and in other operational flights. I rated him to be an average pilot while in training, and that I knew he would proceed after the conversion type rating or type conversion to become a pilot in command on Donia 228, which later he did. I have not flown with Major Selemani, may her soul rest in peace, as a pilot, because she was an air crew air cabin crew member or air hostess when she came into the air wing. She became a pilot later, while I was already out of the air wing. The Malawi Air Force conducts disciplined operations. I want to repeat this one. The Malawi Air Force conducts disciplined operations. This means the operations are accountable, they are transparent, they follow military command and control structures and orders. They follow procedures, and they are conducted within the limits of the law. The Army Act, that's what I'm talking about. And they use relevant approved documents, SOPs, and the other, civil documents. Here I'm talking about AIP. They respect civil control of the military, and they expect responsibilities under the Constitution by the civil authority. This I also want to stress. They respect civil control of the military, and they in turn expect responsibilities from the civil administration or government under the Constitution by civil authority. They conduct their operation with safety in mind as a priority. Allow me to present the following so that they may help us to fully understand the meaning as used in the Air Force. Serviceable aircrafts. These are aircrafts available for flight. Mission-ready aircrafts are aircrafts available for flight. Unserviceable aircrafts not available for flight. Mark this information. The physical perspective view flight operations as a social endeavor that involves interactions among variety of individuals, including pilots, air traffic controllers, dispatchers, ground crew, maintenance personnel, flight attendants, and so on and so on. Incredibly, this cast of players from seemingly disparate organization works closely together to ensure that the level of safety we all enjoy in aviation today. These delicate yet complex interactions are at the center of psychosocial perspective. Indeed, many aviation key players or scientists and safety professionals, where such bodies are established, alike believe that pilot performance is directly influenced by the nature and quality of the interactions among the group's members. These interactions, in turn, are influenced not only by the operating environment, but also by the personality and attitudes of the individuals involved in day-to-day. The people that did the study in the United States. So, in other words, what you must understand here is these accidents, the 70% I'm talking about, also was realized or known to happen in the civilian environment. So we've compared the military environment and civilian environment. As a result of these and other studies in aviation accidents, many are now beginning to understand beyond traditional design issues of the human-machine interface and beginning to address the exceedingly complex issue of human interpersonal relationships. Some have begun to consider the possible impact that social factors have on processes such as decision making. I've presented those scientists in the United States that have done a study, Orasam, 1993, and risk management, among others. As a direct result of the large number of accidents involving simple communication failures, more and more intervention strategies are being aimed at improving cockpit communication, including crew resource management, which is CRM training. CRM training involves educating and training aircrew to use techniques that enable individual pilots to communicate problems more effectively, divide task responsibilities during high workload situations, and resolve conflicts in the cockpit. One of the early aims of CRM training was to challenge and change pilots' traditional attitudes about differences in authority between the captain of the aircraft and the other crew member. Here the captain stands also for pilot in command. Or the first officer. And this is an area that has been shown to impede communication and cause accidents. There is little debate that improvements in aircrew coordination and communication have reduced errors in the cockpit and provided aviation safety. These were problems before, but through CRM training, the coordination and the working together of pilots, captain and his co-pilot, and the differences that they had in terms of who is in charge, was made clear. And the end result is the process of improved safety that we today enjoy. And I've tried to explain it with a diagram involving management, involving the actual tasks, the crew themselves, the practices, the feedback of this interaction between these different groups, the line checks, meaning those people that check the pilots, The line checks would involve people like me when I was a flight instructor. Individualism, standardization, meaning the procedures, the training, the checking, what goes into, what are you looking for when you're doing all these things? And what does management expect from you? Ukati uyu wapambana, utandoza chani? Are you able to explain kuti uyu wapambana? Ndamuona kuti he is able to do that. Zakuti. In the process, you guarantee safety. Because you know kuti uyu are capable, are ready, wapya, nampasa training, is able to go and carry out VIP or VVIP flights. But then individualism is talking about the muntu, the individual person. He has, you know, you don't know what you don't know. That's the individualism. You don't know what other problem. Some can come out and can be seen. You can sort them out. But the others that are silent. Now, I've said the all-encompassing definition of CRM currently used in aviation industry excuse me, recently described CRM as the effective use of all available resources by the cockpit crew. The effective use of all available resources within the cockpit or within the flight. Windege mucha zonse zimene angagwiritse ntchito awuzigwiritse ntchito, including passengers. This includes human resource, hardware, and information. That's why we see mapilot asanayambe kaye kupanga ntchito yawo of flying. You see them running all over office. They're gathering information. They're interacting with people there. They're getting briefings, you know, so that they can come up and safely say, yes, we can do this or not. But as they interact, there are other special flights, more so or particularly VVIP and VIP flights, because there is special demand. They exert special pressure. I will explain later when you ask me questions. It's already in some of the area presentations that I've made. So, including human resource, hardware, and information. And I have quoted the CRM definition as presented by the FAA in 1997, page 2, which I quote, was saying CRM is the effective use of all available resources by the cockpit crew, including human resource, hardware, and information. In other words, what they were saying is kuti ugwetse ndege, then you haven't used chani interacted long enough, because CRM definition says effective use of all available resources by the crew, the cockpit crew, including human resource, hardware, which is the actual aircraft and its instrument components, and the information. This information would include weather. It would include the trend. You could watch. Is it getting better? Is it not? The other information would be, hey, what are they talking about? For example, Mzuzu operations. So you go looking for that information, getting it, interpreting and understanding.
Nyasa Bloku.